Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 1025. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Hello to everyone who is at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend.
Hope you're enjoying the non-Doctor Who content there.
Or indeed non-anything content.
No, there's no Marvel stuff there. There will have been, so we're recording this Saturday morning, there will have been a Star Trek panel, a 90-minute Star Trek. They gave Star Trek 90 minutes because there's only one panel in Hall H on the Sunday. One.
No Star Wars. Although Star Wars did have Celebration earlier this year, so I mean...
I feel like, yeah, they has correct me if I'm wrong, Warren. I haven't, or Chris for that matter, if you remember. Has there ever been a Star Wars thing at Comic-Con, or has it always been sort of based around...
It's a good question. Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, you'd think there would have to be. George Lucas is getting interviewed on Sunday, along with Doug Chiang. I hope I said his name right. He's got a big, huge art book that he's putting out.
It's an art book.
That guy's super talented. So
it's. I imagine they won't ask him any questions about Star Wars. It'll just be about red tails and American graffiti.
Well, apparently it's about this museum he's building. Lucas is building, which good for him. Lucas's billionaireism is to be applauded. He just piles a bunch of money into education. He piles a bunch of money into like museums and stuff like that. Good for him.
I know, right? You know, it almost makes us
he's
forget
not taking
how much
over Venice and annoying everyone.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
He's not going into space like a jerk.
Yep. I'll take my money and I'll put it into good things and not make personal movies, which is what he sort of said he would do. And you know what? I'm okay with the fact that he didn't do that. But anyway,
he could just sit down with Premiere or Avid since he invented it and just do it himself. What the hell?
Did he invent Avid? I didn't know that.
Well, Edit Droid is Avid, so ILM more or less invented Avid.
Okay,
yeah.
I know that John. What's his name? The guy
John Knoll.
Thank you. Basically came up with.
Photoshop. Him and his brother did.
Yeah.
I saw him talk about Rogue One in 2017 at NAB. And it was really cool to actually see John Knoll talk about this stuff.
Right. I heard Chris take a sip of coffee right there.
I did take a sip of coffee.
He's got to reinforce himself.
Bored with our conversation about...
Didn't they do that for The Abyss? Wasn't that why that was...
Do what for The Abyss?
Photoshop creation?
Oh, you might be...
No, Photoshop was its own thing. Maybe you're right about that. I know I talked to Dennis Murin way back when, and he told me they used Photoshop extensively in Terminator 2 to patch all the 3D holes that weren't working on the liquid metal.
Which is still a couple years after The Abyss. But
The Abyss is 88,
89. The Abyss just came out on 4K Blu-ray recently, I think, wasn't it?
It's entirely possible they did. I know with the water tentacle, what they did was it was made in such a way that they didn't have to have that scene in there if it didn't work. And it worked a hell of a lot better than they thought it would. So they're like, all right, let's go with this.
Yeah. Anyway, Comic-Con. There is a Doctor Who presence there. All of it offsite, pretty much. There is the Black Archive. Which they've been bigging up. It's like the unit. There's like a little, what is it, immersive theater kind of thing where there's people in character and you ask them questions and there's a little mystery to be solved. There's an online element of it too, which we'll get
wasn't
into.
That a thing in England too? It wasn't the Black Archive, it was something else. But a couple years ago, they wrote.
Yes, it was.
I can't remember what it's called though.
I don't remember what it's called either. The live theater thing. I don't think it's quite. That was probably a little more of a because that was like a paid experience with
more escape roomy.
And this thing from
time fracture.
Thank you, time fracture. And this one here, I think there's some local actors that they've hired to sort of be in character as unit representatives and such. The BBC posted a YouTube short on it and probably showed up on Instagram and TikTok too. But And, Paul Cornell is at Comic-Con, and he talked about it, and our friend Heather Berberit's been on site, of course, because she lives in San Diego. And she
First in line.
A little bit too. First in line at the event of it, on the Wednesday night, I think it was. That's at at a place called across the street from the convention center. And then there's the unit pop-up shop, which is literally outside convention with the big the TARDIS wall background and stuff like that. That last year, just to show you how little interest Disney has in this, because it's not Disney. Last year was inside the hall at somewhere, and this year it's outside the hall with a little shop and everything, which is almost entirely unit based in terms of its approach, probably leading to the promotion of the war between the land and the sea, which I'm mildly
is in quotes.
Yeah, I'm mildly surprised. Maybe I'll insert something here if there is something, but it isn't yet as of Saturday morning. There's no trailer or anything like that, which I thought maybe there might be another actual proper trailer for the war between coming out this weekend, but that doesn't seem to be the case as of recording. So there. So there's not a lot of Doctor Who stuff. So once again, I saved thousands of dollars by not going to Comic-Con.
You've yet to go.
I've yet to go. I'm probably not going to go at this point ever.
Well, 2029 perhaps.
when Doctor Who and Tubi return, and
well, more to the point, when a certain president is no longer president, theoretically.
That's a good point too. Yeah. So I mean, we'll talk a little bit about. Obviously, this is a BBC Studios initiative. There's a lot to read between the lines here when it comes to this stuff. BBC Studios is clearly behind any and all official Doctor Who presence at Comic-Con. Disney has no vested interest in promoting the war between the land and the sea. Russell T Davies, interestingly enough, has had nothing to say about the any of the official announcements that are coming up, which we'll talk about later on in this episode, and indeed anything to do with Comic-Con. Usually he's all over that on his Instagram with, we're this and this and teasing this and all that. Nothing. He's all about nothing to do with Doctor Who. That leads me to think he is done with Doctor Who as well. Disney had their big panel so far was the Percy Jackson series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is coming out December 10th on Disney Plus. It was announced.
That was movies first, right?
It was well, it's a book series, right? I think
that's where the popularity comes from, is the book series. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, season 2, because season 1 went down really well for them. Season 2 is premiering December 10th. The tagline for it, remember, this is the Disney Plus, which is probably going to be airing the War Between the Land and the Sea in December as well. The Sea of Monsters is calling. So even that is superseding the War Between's initiative. This whole thing with Percy Jackson, December 10th and all that, it's going to be a massive publicity push at the time too for Disney Plus. I'm standing by my War Between drops all 5 episodes at once, probably early December.
I mean, not to defend giant corporations full of evil people, but they got to go where the heat is. And if the heat ain't at War Between the Land and the Sea and it's on Percy Jackson, why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah, exactly. Chris, do you have any? I know, Chris. You've argued in the past for the fact that it's going to be a weekly release for the War Between. What do you think now, given that Percy Jackson seems to be hogging the headlines come December on Disney Plus?
I've spent zero time, so I have no opinion.
The proper response.
You've lost no sleep over this, is what you're saying.
That's one way to put it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stephen, you do obsess about this more than me and Chris put together. Let's be honest.
Oh, yes.
I know,
but
and
that's not a criticism. I'm just saying it's what you do.
I do like to think about things, partly because having a podcast to air my opinions and thoughts on the matter are one aspect of it. It's nice to have something to say. But it's just really shaping up. I'm mildly surprised at the. Well, maybe I'm not mildly surprised, because Disney's obviously has no interest in Doctor Who anymore, and that there is no, it's just a generic unit presence when it comes to the war. I think there's one of the props from the upcoming series that's in that Black Archive exhibit.
I assume they're using the set, the standing set. No,
you would think so, yeah.
Oh, for the TV show, yeah.
For the
yeah.
It'd be crazy not to.
No, but it was already shot. That and or the TARDIS set at Badwell Studios might be dismantled by this point. Who knows?
I just keep thinking of RTD right before Doctor Who was starting, when they did the Hooniverse thing, and he's like, well, why wouldn't there be all these spin-offs? And I'm just like, now that just smells like when the final moments before a stock bubble pops. That's what that feels like.
It does a bit, because when I feel like we talked about this before because it was announced like in 2022. October when they announced that Disney was, and like at that time, even we thought as people who watch TV and movies and everything, wow, we all love the expanded universe stuff. And look at all these Marvel shows we get to watch. And like within a year and a half, by the time that Doctor Who actually finally showed up as a series, we're going, oh God, I'm so tired of it.
All kind of fizzled. Were you actually enthused about new Marvel TV shows?
No. I'm just saying we as I see.
Okay.
The culture was basically that was, and then everyone just like kind of instantly soured on having to watch. Oh God, why do we have to watch this Captain America Falcon show? Whatever. Everyone.
Well, it was a pandemic, so we didn't have much choice. But
that's true. But then the pandemic waned a little bit, and people got tired of having to watch 18 Marvel shows to watch a subpar Marvel movie, and so everyone sort of like tuned out of it. And by the time
me.
No, by the time Doctor Who came along, says, "Oh, really?"
Me totally. I haven't watched Ironheart. I haven't watched Echo. There's a bunch of Marvel stuff I haven't bothered to watch, but I am watching Fantastic Four: First Steps in a mere hours, and apparently it's very standalone. You don't really need to know anything. Not that I already do, but you don't need to. You can just walk in cold, essentially.
Yeah. Which is the approach now. This is the approach that the people realize that, maybe we screwed up. We put out too much stuff in there, so maybe we'll pull back. And
there's a reason comic book like universes reboot every 10 years or so because they just get super top heavy and they knew this going in. So, they should have kind of seen this coming.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's weird in a way that The War Between is like the last was intended to be the first spin-off in the expanded universe.
And it will be.
And indeed will be the last.
And it will be.
The last actual thing from the Doctor Who Disney experiment, which is, says a lot about how quickly the streaming and, multiverse universe changed from conception to reality.
Just Hollywood in general is not doing great from everything I've listened to on the town, so...
Yeah, I mean, Superman is, doing well, but it's like nothing's going to hit Avengers Endgame numbers in the box office anymore, Well,
I mean, you can't. It's like saying, we got to hit Titanic numbers. Well, you're not going to. No. Like, something every 10 years hits that. Yeah. And then the other stuff doesn't. That's just math, man.
Yeah. Box office numbers aren't going to hit that again. TV numbers aren't going to hit what?
Oh, no.
We're not getting 14 million for an episode of Doctor Who at Christmas 2007 anymore, kids. That's never going to happen again, ever. It's over.
Well, what did Kevin and Stacey and that other one got like around 20 million last
that's true.
Christmas,
it did.
So
it did.
You never know.
Yeah.
I think you're right insofar as it wouldn't be Doctor Who.
Right.
Unless, of course, it's some sort of, I don't know, like it's been off the air for 10 years and some big one-off thing happens to hit. Sorry, 9 years. And some big one-off thing happens to hit and become a massive bust in the States, but popular in the UK.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, I was talking to a friend, and they were saying, "Oh, I graduated in 2005 from high school, and then Doctor Who started, and that's been here my whole time since, and that I don't know how to deal with this possible wilderness years." And I was like, "Well, I graduated in 1988, so I walked into the wilderness years to begin with." And she said to me, "You sound like an old grandma going, first famine, huh?" And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because I had the exact opposite point of view. I'm like, well, I just walked into 16 years of not having any Who, so I'm like, it's gone again. Well, I'm used to this crap.
I've just been thinking, like, just in general, like just the pop culture domination of nerd stuff. It was weird, like sort of like growing up thinking, oh wow, we don't get any say in anything, and there's nothing made for us. And then so when comic book movies came along, it says, oh, finally the nerds have taken over. Thinking, you know what? If you were born in the 1980s, your entire adult life has been spent with your nerd obsessions being the dominant box office force. The entirety of the 21st century has been Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Marvel, everything else of that nature,
All we have to do is look at Silicon Valley and nerds being in charge to know it's a bad idea. Do you really want Mark Zuckerberg or Peter Thiel or any of these guys? These are all bad people with stupid ideas, and they're nerds. They're not part of my tribe. Yeah. I would gladly throw them in a locker. I would join a sports team just to beat them up. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Goodness me, Warren. That is,
I know.
Elbows up and all that.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, this is the down the pessimistic view we have of the entirety of this of this pop culture phenomenon that we've been enjoying for the past 20 odd years that Doctor Who seems to be winding down from for the time being. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing for the entire industry. Just, even Marvel is like, they've got that Wonder Man show coming up, whatever that is, in December as well, which it's also
comedy, I think.
I don't know.
I don't remember the comic enough to tell you if it was that to begin with.
Right. I don't. I mean, I'm making no secret about it. I'm not a fan of the recent Star Trek thing, but the whole merger between Skydance and Paramount is finalizing on August 7th, and they're basically a flurry of announcements that Strange New Worlds, which is currently only just started season 3, is ending after season 5. That's a remarkable statement to make for something that they're only making season 4 right now. They'll make a truncated season 5 and wrap that up because of probably financial reasons. Honestly, they're probably just sort of green lighting as much as they can before they have to lay off a bunch of people at Paramount. I don't know what that future is going to be. Marvel,
not great.
Marvel's after this Fantastic Four movie and that Wonder Man show, is the next movie is like the big Avengers thing.
The two Avengers is
two Avengers. So they aren't like peppering in 3 or 4 movies a year like they used to even. So you do kind of sense a bit of a we're tired of this now kind of malaise, if you will.
Well, there's an overall general malaise on the earth, basically. So
a little bit.
Why not?
Yeah, and the Star Trek fans love the Star Trek stuff. The Doctor Who people love the Doctor Who stuff. The Marvel people love the it doesn't feel like there's that one great pop culture thing that unites everyone as much as there's no great Star Wars thing anymore, because even the Star Wars thing, the Star Wars people like the Star Wars stuff, and it doesn't really expand out past the greater audience. You know what I mean? Like everything seems to sort of be siphoning off, and
well, the one big popular one is Yellowstone, which I'll never watch. So, but it is very popular. So
apparently, it is amongst the over 60 sets. Certainly, I don't know if the kids are looking at TikTok memes of Yellowstone.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
that's a bunch of words I don't really understand going together. So
that's true. Yeah. So yeah, Comic-Con. Happening right now.
We didn't really talk about Comic-Con at all, but okay.
No, that's just the general industry that the Comic-Con is trying to hype up. There's a third Tron movie. That's a thing that was announced.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, and I would be interested, except I am kind of interested, but and also most of it's shot in Vancouver, which is kind of cool. Oh. But Jared Leto, I'm not a fan. So
he's in that. Oh,
he just makes me go ew whenever I see him.
He's the main dude. Yeah.
What are we doing that for? I thought we were past that as a culture.
The trailer looks good, and I mean, they got Jeff Bridges in there, so it can't be that bad, can it?
Member berries, da, da, da.
We got Jeff Bridges.
But most of Vancouver is destroyed, so I'm always cheering that on, obviously.
Yeah. Your home adopted city for the past
good old Burrard Street takes a lot of abuse in these movies.
No.
As much as the Burrard Bridge did for Deadpool?
Well, my favorite part of Deadpool 2 is where this truck zips by my place about 3 times.
Oh.
I'm like, are you just going in a loop? What's going on here? Come on, this Deadpool movie is unrealistic.
Were you watching that as it happened, Warren, when they were shooting that?
Probably not. It was probably just a truck with like a gimbal on it, like, and everything added later. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
It would be pretty uneventful. They wouldn't be actually showing cars exploding, right?
No. Anything else about Comic-Con? I mean, that we sort of talked about the Black Archive site a little bit. They relaunched the BBC shop as we alluded to last week. It's I'm hoping it's early days, because right now it literally is just like basically the exact same merchandise we saw in the teaser photos, and of course none of it ships to Canada. So
just anecdotally and generally, there seems to be a lot less hype online for Comic-Con. Like even last year, I remember seeing more. I mean, I'm not looking that hard, but I just remember seeing a lot more stuff being announced, a lot more like, here's the 10 best cosplays. And there's some of that, but it doesn't feel like the volume has been turned down on it.
Anecdotally.
Yeah. Just me observing, what I'm seeing online.
Okay. Where do you look? I'm not calling you into doubt. I don't want to sound like
I like stuff like Kotaku or Polygon or Hollywood Reporter and Variety, even like Heat Vision, which is Hollywood Reporter's pretty good. Like, here's the nerd stuff.
Right.
There's just not that much on there.
Well, I know that I've been like the Deadline and Variety are still like occupying Twitter and not other places as much, and it annoys me. But so therefore Twitter is still becoming my news source for all these things, even though nobody's interacting on there. I don't understand it. Anyway, they've been posting like live tweeting panels from Comic-Con a little bit. So, but you're right. The buzz isn't quite there.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's weird.
But could be me too. I'm just not looking as hard. So.
Well, I am. It's having it put right in front of me, and I don't feel like it's there's no great Robert Downey Jr. taking off the Doctor Doom mask moment.
Yeah, which I recall there were my own and other people's reaction being, all right, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Right. Not that I hate it. I mean, he's a great actor. He could probably pull this off, but it just seemed like, I'm trying to find a Doctor Who equivalent here. Well, it seemed like becoming Rose, becoming the 16th Doctor.
It seemed like David Tennant returning again to Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly. That's or Billy Piper.
Yeah, mostly David Tennant because he feels like he's playing a role and not actually just some sort of stunt thing to get people talking about Doctor Who for a couple days after the fact that the show's actually gone away. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the BBC shop has been regenerated, powered by snow commerce by the looks of it. I don't know what that means, but it's. I feel like it's early days because it's literally only Doctor Who stuff.
Well, it's only Doctor. It does ship to Canada, by the way.
Oh, it does now.
Changed.
Oh, wow.
It does now. I was just poking around there. It is mostly exclusively Doctor Who stuff, but it's just like you said, it's like what was shown in the preview thing that we talked about last week, where it's the odd T-shirt or cap or whatever.
Yeah,
it's not DVDs. It's not all the stuff that was previously in the BBC shop, which I assume will come in time.
I would hope so. Like literally, if you just go to BBC shop, it is only Doctor Who stuff. That's it.
That's weird. Actually, sorry, I'm just going through and there's like a thing for the 60th anniversary specials on DVD, for example. So there's a few DVDs, Darkwater Death in Heaven 3D Blu-ray, but there's almost nothing there.
There are 5 discs. There's the 60 anniversaries, both on DVD and Blu-ray. There is the Matt Smith DVD collection, Doctor Who, as you say, Darkwater Death in Heaven in 3D, and Day of the Daleks. Rather randomly,
not even Day of the Daleks special edition.
Not even the special edition. Not the original.
Just the original DVD release.
What a weird collection.
They apparently are sold out of both of the Barbie 15th Doctor and Ruby Sundays.
They are. Yeah. So, but so you're saying that they could actually send it to I can't. Okay, because initially it was just Australia, UK, and USA. So
I started going through the checkout process, and it allowed Canada just fine.
Okay, that's good. That's good then. It shows that they're actually updating it.
And Canadian funds as well.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, well, that's good news. That's good to hear. Okay, so that shows that they are actually going to be expanding. They are sold out of a lot of stuff, like the sound.
I bet there'll be more stuff. They're probably just repopulating it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a heck of a lot of stuff to begin with, to be fair. But
yeah. Well, that's all right. I'm glad that they're starting it, and it's a growing thing. But yeah, it's early days so far. Yeah. But so that has been regenerated. Still, obviously, still not the place to get Doctor Who Blu-rays. The new collections.
No. In time, perhaps. In time, perhaps.
There's the unit so I mentioned the Black Archive on-site thing in San Diego, but there's an online component too, which is you can look at various pictures of things. That's where you saw the little egg that's going to be in the War Between the Land and the Sea, which as I continue to say it more, is a dumb and long title for a TV show. But the most recent thing, the mission brief, because you can do little mission briefs on the website, and it's just a quiz. It's just basically a quiz. Go through a quiz, pick out the one thing that is wrong about each of these characters, and then share your results and stuff. So that's kind of basically what it is so far. There might be another little mission or two to come over the course of the weekend, but that's all there is so far.
I didn't even get that far. I got as far as the default, like, quote unquote emails from Osgood and Kate Stewart, and I'm like, oh, okay, you can't even be bothered to like shoot a video of this.
No.
And so I kind of noped out.
Well, you got to pay actors if you're going to shoot a video.
I mean, that's something that they possibly could have done when they were shooting, last year. Mm-hmm. But I guess there's nothing to say that they knew last year that this thing was happening this year or whatever. But
it does feel a little bit like it's not last minute, but it does feel like it's kind of like, maybe we
got a hole to fill here. Let's do it.
A little bit. You know what? Honestly, I kind of like Doctor Who kind of being like second tier again. It just feels a little bit right.
I feel ashamed to admit it, but right. Yeah, if it got back to just the BBC doing it, which I know there's a whole bunch of reasons why that may not happen.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be against that.
It feels kind of nice to be quaint. There's also a whole bunch of there's a couple actors and stuff in a puppet of the Dugadoo thing at Comic-Con as well.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So those are pretty cool too. But
I've seen a couple reels about that.
Yeah.
One quick little side thing relative to I think it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the BBC license fee having hit its
Oh yeah, we got that way
biggest amount ever
right.
at 3 point something $million, and apparently it was a typo. It's 3 point whatever billion, which makes a whole heck of a lot more sense.
Yeah, that does make a whole lot more sense.
Did a bit. Yeah. So sorry about that. Thank you for the people who corrected us on that.
Because otherwise, 10 people own TVs.
And hey, we're just reading off the page.
Rip and read, baby.
We were reading it. We were reading a literal. That's how, like I said, that's how you know it's an official press release when there's a blatant typo in there. That's the little code to say, "Don't worry, this is official. We made a mistake." I can't believe
this. I did look, and it still hasn't been fixed at deadline anyway. And that's what we linked to.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Bearing the lead here, by the way, the big news, of course, is there's a new mixed media adventure coming in 2026. Doctor Who Circuit Breaker coming to the Whooniverse, just like Doomsday and Time Lord Victorious, which swept through Doctor Who fandom.
Resounding successes.
They're trying it again. BBC Studios in collaboration with BBC Audio, so there's probably an audiobook in there. Big Finish Productions, audio play. Doctor Who Magazine, East Side Games, which makes the Doctor Who Lost in Time game. Penguin Random House, which of course publishes the books, and Titan Comics, which does comics, are excited to announce the upcoming launch of Circuit Breaker.
Toys, but
yeah.
When I saw that, I thought less. Oh, mixed media. You can see this here, listen to that there. I just read it as, oh, look, everyone has to chip in because nobody wants to pony up for the full thing.
I hadn't thought about that, but it's probably very true.
Yeah. Now, I think James Goss was sort of the overarching producer-ish of the Time Lord Victorious. I don't remember who was doing Doomsday. Esme Jackie Pearson, who's now written a few Doctor Who novels in recent years, is in charge of the overarching narrative. I don't know how much of an overarching narrative there was in the other stuff that we mentioned, the other previous attempts at this mixed media thing. It features Joe Martin as a fugitive doctor. That's sort of the one thing that's, the one character, I guess, that's going across all these things, which is always good. Always good to have more Joe Martin. Of course, we want more video stuff of Joe Martin and not so much stuff that we can just sort of read and listen to. So there's a quote from Joe Martin about that, but no actual launch. This almost also kind of feels like, well, it's Comic-Con. Let's rush out what we have about it now. Enough to sort of get some talk going, and then it'll just say it'll debut in 2026. So there's no even real firm date or firm plan. There's a logo. I like the logo, but yeah, Warren, you were going to talk about mixed media just crossover stuff like this.
Before that, I would just like to say I want to see more Fugitive Doctor stuff. I think everybody wants to see more Fugitive Doctor stuff, but this is just kind of, I'm not going to put the effort in to go through all these different things, and probably nobody else will either, just like they did the last two times. The way I put it previously was, it just seems like there's somebody at the BBC who loves this mixed media or multimedia stuff. And my experience in television is the people in charge are usually 10 years behind and think they're on the cutting edge. And this kind of smells of that to me. Like the 3 times this has happened so far. Now, there are other ways to look at it. Like a bunch of people are going to get some work out of it, which is great. But just with old comic books or any other, even the Marvel thing, people just get tired of having to go to do all this different homework to check this thing out, to get the whole story.
Yeah.
Yep. The world needs another Torchwood motion comic.
Motion comics generally kind of die to death.
That's still on. I remember I was looking the other day, like Torchwood on like iTunes or something like that, and I says, "Oh, how many episodes? What? There's 2 other episodes of Torchwood. Oh, it's that motion comic thing. I had completely forgotten about that, but there it is.
Yeah,
you can buy it.
Until you just said it, Chris, I had totally forgotten about it too. But yeah, which goes to show, like I'd forgotten Doomsday existed. And nothing against Suze Kempner; she seems pretty cool and pretty funny, but it just didn't. It just didn't take, and I thought Timeline Victorious just seemed confusing, honestly.
Yeah, and that was the first attempt at. I mean, I felt like the Tom Victorious thing was like almost like kind of like, oh, this also ties in with this. Like it felt like more of a backdoor kind of thing. Doomsday was intended right from the start to be this big overarching thing. And honestly, I didn't hear much about it after the initial launch.
I read one of the comics and it was all right, but but I was never going to go back and find all the other parts of the story. I just wasn't going to search them out.
No, even the Marvel stuff, they're based on comics, but I feel like they aren't like saying, hey, you enjoyed this latest movie, well, pick up issue this of this, the comic, and to find out more. I don't think they've ever done that. And
the comics have, where you have to go look at issues 603 of Green Lantern to figure out what the hell's happening in Green Arrow and all this other stuff. And nobody ever, even as a kid, I'd be like, want to know more? Go in, and they'd have like little editor notes. And I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I don't even know where to get this. Like, why would I do that? Just tell me the damn story.
So color us skeptical on this this next thing. Although, the interesting thing, of course, although it's, is it official? Is it canon? Is that why would UNIT know about this little known incarnation of the Doctor, the Fugitive Doctor? Why?
Here's the thing. Who cares about canon? That's Doctor Who's greatest strength, is not caring about canon.
It's true. Yeah. How does UNIT know about her? And is she the Doctor they expect? This is the things that are from the official thing. So this
I just watched Power of the Doctor and my main takeaway was, other than, this is just as much fan service as RTD, honestly, is that UNIT has a normal office building, not this thing with the Vlinks and a bunch of customized, very TV-friendly, everything is just a little too heightened in the current UNIT headquarters, whereas the older UNIT headquarters, it's just a building. That's where we do stuff.
Yeah. A little more homespun in the olden days, too, little country homes and places that we go to, but I suppose we'll see what happens there in the war between the land and the sea on that set. Exciting. Did we see that set in the teaser?
To be found.
Yeah, I can't remember if the Vlinks are in, and all that is in the...
must be. Yeah. Must be.
Yeah, but if you're going for the darker, more adult tone that I'm assuming they are with that trailer, then why would the Vlinks be in there?
Yeah, well, we've only had the teaser so far as of recording on Saturday, July 26th. This is me covering up the fact that maybe a trailer dropped and maybe we didn't have time to record an insert and have yet to talk about it. But I don't foresee one.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Is that enough? Is that all you want to say about the current state of Comic-Con, Doctor Who? Anything else before we move on to the rest of the news
best.
list? Yeah.
Or mid, as the kids would say.
A little bit right now, but
no cap.
No. Let's talk about some older stuff then. Of course, season 13, Tom Baker season 2, which now has an Amazon pre-order link in Canada, although it's currently unavailable, so you can't actually order it, alas. But as we mentioned, that's coming out in January in this part of the world. But there's a BFI event coming on September 20th in the UK for the Terror of the Zygons screening, and also they're going to be screening Chris Chapman's Worlds Within the Life of Ian Martyr documentary as well, just like they did with the was it the Graham Williams one they did and with the season 15 one? I know they sort of quickly arranged a screening of that documentary. I think it was at the time too. Anyway, that's happening September 20th at the BFI. I think tickets go on sale August 7th for that. They'll be sold out pretty quick, as they usually are.
I went through the other listing of other stuff they're doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, you kind of forget that since this is London, you can just have big deal people like Tim Burton's going to be there for a thing, and Ridley Scott's going to have like most of his movies playing, and he's going to be on stage. It's just nuts.
Double Pet Shop Boys, and Neil Tennant's going to be there from Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah. Like there's a thing about Anna May Wong, which obviously she won't be there because she was a big deal in 1929. But still, just the fact that this is what the BFI does besides all the stuff we know it for, the Doctor Who stuff.
I just assume they shoot Frontier in Space on the staircase, and they show Doctor Who stuff, and after that they just shut down until the next Doctor Who thing.
When
but
we were there,
because there's other stuff. Yeah.
When we were there, I was just standing outside the BFI. I just kicked in. I'm like, oh wait, this is where Frontier in Space was. Oh wow, this is awesome. But I just wanted to check out the BFI, so I didn't bother.
Yeah. Chris, you're going to be in the UK. Is that public knowledge? Mm-hmm. It is now. But you're just missing this. You're just.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm missing that by a couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, that's too bad. Oh well.
I mean, you never know the stuff going into it. So
that's true. Yeah. Which indicates, though, there's probably an October release. There hasn't been an official UK release date for the season 13 set yet either, but that usually indicates that it's a coming soon. So there you go. Keep watching the skis for the ticket announcement on that. But as we say, August 7th is when they go on sale. I don't know if that's general public August 7th or BFI members August 7th, but that's what the word on the grapevine is.
Probably the just members. Usually,
how much is a membership?
Yeah,
I don't know. Check the BFI website.
I guess I should do that, yeah.
But usually it's whatever, and then like 2 days later, public sales start if there's anything left.
Have you ever been to the BFI, Chris? Like just in general, not just for a Doctor Who thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because you used to live there. This is why I ask you. See, so.
Yeah. Oh, I'll walk past, but never have been inside. Never have had a cause.
We've all walked past to watch this. Look at the staircase where they shot Frontier in Space in 1973 on. Obviously, we've all done that.
Oh yes, of course.
What else?
It's got a nice gift shop because I remember going inside at the gift shop.
We did do that, didn't we? With Simon Harris that one day. Yeah. Happy days, Warren. Happy days looking at brutalist architecture in London. Oh, this is a London Eye. I do not care. This is where Draconians ambush the Doctor and Joe in episode 2 of the Frontier in Space. Yeah. That is what we came all this way to see.
Yes, it is, actually.
100% is, yeah. What else we got here? Terrance Dicks, Simon Gary, our good friend Simon Gary, who, of course, wrote the wonderful book about David Whittaker. An exciting adventure in television by David Whittaker. We talked about him on the podcast a couple of years ago, I think, when he was at Gallifrey 1. Anyway, he's going through the role of famous Doctor Who authors, and he is writing through 10 Acre Films a full-length biography on Doctor Who writer and script editor Terrance Dicks, written by Simon Gary with the full cooperation of Terrance's family. Written by Terrance Dicks is the name of the book, provisionally scheduled for publication in 2026. So this feels like Simon said, I want to write a book about Terrance Dicks. I've got everything behind it, but he has yet to write it. But knowing Simon and knowing how much research and effort he puts into these things, this is going to be a must read.
Definitely.
About Terrance Dicks, who, of course, let's face it. I mean, obviously, he worked on Doctor Who and the TV show, but then all the Target novelizations, some of which I read before I ever saw.
Oh yeah,
the stories. I'm sure you did, Warren. You talk a lot about
absolutely. And then was disappointed. The Two Doctors shines as, I don't think he wrote that one, but I just remember in my head it was amazing looking. And and then I saw the actual episode and I was like, maybe not so much.
But hey, it was in Spain. I love the Two Doctors because it was
it's most that space station that Dastaria and Cassini are on, and you're like, this is not so good.
No.
Compared to my brain.
Well, I've always been a fan of the Two Doctors, but that's just me being me, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Terrance Dicks, looking forward to that book. Well done, Simon. Hopefully he'll be at Gallifrey 1 in 2026 or 27 when that book comes out. Because, Gallifrey 1 only has 3 years left, damn it. And it's, starting to set in a little bit. I got to be honest. It's kind of what, obviously the relations between U.S. and Canada, not good. And USA as a country, not good. And, but you know what? There's only 3 Gallifrey ones left, damn it. And
well, that's certainly worth a week in a nice prison.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway.
So you go a week or two early so you can get out of prison and then go to Gallifrey.
that's how you spring it. Yeah. I mean, we talked a little bit off air about, what is our experience at the border when it comes to, like, it's literally just a disinterested customs guard at Edmonton International Airport. It was like a line of 3 people, and we're in the Nexus line, and there's like no one that, I don't know how much that's changed, but it's it wasn't much in February of this year. I'll say that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes.
Yeah. So,
but a lot has happened since February,
and a lot can happen still. So.
Oh boy, howdy!
Before next February, yes.
Can it ever? Yeah.
Still six months and change away. So
it's only 6 months until the next Gallifrey 1. Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. We say this every year, but it is nuts.
Oh, man. Also announced-ish about the titles for the next Target novelizations coming in March 26th of 26, which is the 21st anniversary of the first broadcast of Rose. The new Target novelizations are The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit, written by Matt Jones, the original author, and mostly rewritten by Russell T Davies for the TV show. So that'll be actually quite intriguing. Time of the Angels and Flesh and Stone. Jenny Colgan is writing that one, and Aliens of London, World War III. Joe Lidster is doing that one.
Good news, Joe Lidster. We're going to ask you to write a Target novelization. Bad news, it's Aliens of London, World War III.
Well, maybe he can make it. Well, I mean, here's the thing: is we don't have all the nonsense that we saw on screen. Keith Boak didn't direct that novelization. Think about that.
I'm glad you've read it and can have parsed how accurate it is relative to the screen presentation.
I just want to give a shout out to Murray Gold, who we've been very harsh to for the last year or so. But there's that one scene in Impossible Planet where that woman is floating into the black hole, and the music is perfect, absolutely perfect. So I want to give him credit where credit's due. We've been a little harsh on him for good reason. Over the last bombastic couple of years, but when he hits, he hits.
Oh yeah, there's a simplicity to his music in those days, I feel. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah,
more often.
Those two. That's my favorite. That might be my favorite David Tennant story still. I think. Impossible Planet, Satan Pit.
No, Utopia's still my favorite.
Yeah,
and that's where the bombastic music really works, actually.
It does a bit, I guess. Yeah. Oh, Impossible Planet, Satan Pit. Even though, like, I like Waters of Mars too. Don't get me wrong, but it's that and Impossible
Another
Planet,
great
Satan Pit. Yeah.
Murray Gold score.
Yeah. Yeah. God, it's one of the few stories where I can still remember watching it, like just the intensity and like one of the very few times like I felt like sort of scared watching Doctor Who, having sort of grown up with it in my teens, and I was never really scared by the classic series, and I was far too old and cynical to be scared by modern Who, except during the final moments of the Impossible Planet Part 1 there, just like, bang up stuff. Golly.
Good stuff.
Well, now it's going to be novelized by Matt Jones, the original author of that, so how about that? That's coming. March. They've announced that already, but no covers yet, but just Amazon links. So there you go. Where are we at now on the news list? Where are we at? Big Finish. Out now. Smith and Sullivan reunited with, of course, no longer Elizabeth Sladen and Ian Martin. They both long passed on, but Sadie Miller, Christopher Naylor as Smith and Sullivan, with Annette Badland and John Leeson, of course, in the voice of K9, with the wonderfully early to mid 80s cover art with the logo.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Very well done on the part of the designer there. There's TVs. There's Annette Badland not playing a Slovene in this one. There's the car. It looks like it's in the 1980s based on that. That's kind of cool. Is this set in the 1980s? It's got to be.
It's got to be, given the hair and.
Well, UNIT is from 1980, so.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah.
I just like them pairing this. I mean, this is kind of a easy gimme for Big Finish, but still, it's kind of cool to have Smith and Sullivan as a team.
I think so too. It's about time. I mean, obviously, we didn't. Sadly, we lost Ian Martin way back in 1986. So having the original voice actor was never going to be an option. But
no. But I'm totally fine with having new people, and especially if it's the daughter of Liz Sladen.
Yeah,
there's a lot of phone booths on this cover.
There is. What can it mean, Chris? What can it mean?
3 phone booths, 3 TARDISes.
There you go. Done. I also love that Smith and Sullivan looks like an early 80s TV show, like an ABC specifically logo for an early 80s TV. Smith and Sullivan on ABC tonight.
After Heart for Heart. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Hardcastle and McCormick and Smith and Sullivan.
Oh, those are the days. Hardcastle and McCormick.
No, these shows sucked.
I don't remember the shows. I just remember the cars that everyone drove in them. You know, Starsky and Hutch had that car. Hardcastle and McCormick had a certain car. It was red.
What's his name? Rockford Files guy had a special car. Not special, but just Camaro, it was unique to him.
A brown Camaro, as I recall. Yeah. I don't know anything
memorable
about
car. Is a better way to put it.
I don't remember anything about the show. The theme song at the car, the guy drives.
I tried watching it, and it's just so slow. Like it's well written. It's quite well written, and it's very funny. But I was just like, but it just goes. It's definitely paced in the 70s. And you're like, oh, all right, okay, you're waiting for commercial here. What's going on?
Film TV, I tell you. I mean, we talked about the Sweetie. Here's where we are now, kids. We're talking about the Sweetie again.
Stuff's just as bad.
I know. I watched the first 10 minutes of the Sweetie the other day, and just like, yeah, this is a bit slow, isn't it? It just feels weirdly. Film stuff feels slow. Videotape less so. I don't know why. That is, but I just feel like static images on videotape are just more boring, and so they have to keep the action moving. Whereas, look at that glorious film, isn't it great? We can have a car drive up for 2 whole minutes before it drives up and park, and we can get on with it. But
my favorite thing about watching this Rockford File was just all the zooms that they threw in there, because I'm like, this must be the point where the technology was at the point where you could put it in TV cheaply, as opposed to just because it was in movies all over the place. Pardon me, in the 60s. And then by the mid 70s, they're like, yeah, now we have zooms. Let's waste everybody's time with zooms.
Damn right. I miss zoom lenses. Anyway, there are no zooms in. Well, you can imagine, though. You can imagine them just purely alone from the K9 and Company opening title sequence, which is full of zooms, and rightly so. You can imagine that while listening to Smith and Sullivan. So there you are. Which is out now. Chris, you listened to a podcast / watched a podcast that we didn't. It was Russell T Davies' appearance on David Walliams and Matt Lucas's Making a Scene podcast. Mm-hmm. How was that? What happened on that? What shocking revelations were on that?
Honestly, it was a bit of fun. Williams and Lucas obviously have both been in Doctor Who, but not RTD's Doctor Who.
No.
But it was kind of neat to see them both fanboy. Like David Williams at one point pulled out his... not that.
Hey, now. We weren't thinking that until you said it. But.
Yeah. He pulled out his, was it 1974 annual or some such?
Oh, wow.
He was saying that his from his mother's attic or something like that, his mother just found a bunch of his old stuff from when he was a child. Anyway, it was kind of neat to see Williams and Lucas both kind of fanboy over RTD, even though Lucas worked with RTD for Midsummer Night's Dream as well as Casanova. But yeah, still fanboy. It was good. Best bit was RTD talking about how I think it was 1998 or some such. He took a VHS back to his parents' place of Queer as Folk because they hadn't seen it. And apparently his dad at that point was blind. So anytime his parents watched television, his mother would also always describe what's going on the screen to his dad.
Right.
And then enter Queer as Folk.
Maybe not so much. Oh, the boys are kissing again, dear.
He said that he wasn't there when they watched it, if they watched it. He wasn't there for them watching it, and never asked them about it after the fact either. So
just left unsaid. Family dinners in the early 2000s where they just there was about 6 to 8 seconds of just awkward silence before we just got on with the rest of. So how was your work day? That's good. Okay, so what's for supper? All right.
Yeah. I showed that bit to Kat, who said it's a good thing it wasn't the U.S. version, because apparently that's even more graphic.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Stars, wasn't it?
I don't know.
We ran it at Super Channel. I don't think I ever watched it, or maybe
the U.S. version. Yeah,
or maybe I'm thinking the L Word. I think I remember now. I'm getting shows mixed up now. I
think Queer as Folk was definitely more had more to show than the L Word.
Oh yeah, definitely. I only watched one episode of the L Word and I was really bored. But to be fair, I was in no way the target audience for it. So
no, I only watched.
Not. So if they're boring me, it doesn't really matter.
I worked at Super Channel at the time we aired it, so I would watch random episodes of things as they came in. Basically, it's my job to dub them across to our system and stuff, and that's most of my TV and movie watching in the early 2000s was with that. I may actually no, it wasn't Queer as Folk because that was on Showcase, and
right, which doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. I want to say it was on Showtime in the States. So was Showcase not Canadian Showtime?
No,
kind of. It was also everything sort of racy gets on Showcase. It had a rep for that.
Yeah,
well, I know they had like Red Shoe Diaries and
let me tell you. Yeah, no, they had other stuff on Showcase.
They leaned into it too. They kind of made fun of themselves over it, which was fine. I mean,
back when TV had personality and stuff like that. Now,
those days are gone.
That's probably just like CTV drama now. I think is probably what that channel is. It's just the most generically named.
Yeah, I mean, one of you, I think it might have been Chris, shared Much Rewind, which is just Much Music putting old clips from the 2000s. Stephen onto YouTube, and I'm like, first I'm like, yeah, this is how you do it, and then I'm like, well, this is all it takes to get me excited. That's how bad TV is now, or different, I guess.
Like classic clips. Listen, how many times have I just like, oh, you know what? I'm totally gonna watch this random, episode of Crown Court to see, and sure enough, there's Bernard K right there. The first shot of it, I was like, wow, Bernard K.
Now, all right. To be fair, you are insane, but there is
yes. Yeah. I am certifiably insane when my biggest TV watching joy comes from spotting Doctor Who actors and contemporary
and
things.
Soon a spiral staircase pilgrimage, which I think is possibly your craziest thing ever.
It's coming. Well, here's the thing. I don't.
The genesis for which has not been heard by them.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The horror is still to come, people.
Let me drop what I think I might have mentioned it in passing on occasion on this podcast. But the next time I watch through Doctor Who, and you know what? Because of what I'm doing with it, it might not be like a let's watch it every episode really, in real time.
Make this sound rational.
There is a spiral staircase scenery prop in the BBC collection, which has showed up everywhere. I've seen it not just in Doctor Who, but it's been in Doctor Who a lot. It's a very distinctive spiral staircase that leads up to nowhere. It has shown up in the very least,
much like This Pursuit.
Yeah,
I think he needs to be pitching this to Rob Ritchie at this point.
I could be, but
as a VAM feature.
I am definitely going to, when the time comes and I finally get around to it, I'm going to go through every single episode of Doctor Who in the classic series. I don't think it survived the 1980s. And spot every instance that I can. Obviously, there are 97 missing episodes, but I will say that when I was looking for shots of Sarah Kingdom for whatever reason in recent weeks, and in the background of the production of Dalek's Master Plan, you could see that spiral staircase on set in whatever set they were shooting on at the time, which of course does not exist in telesnapped form. So there is a distinct possibility that staircase shows up in episodes that we don't have visual proof of.
You're losing sleep over this, aren't you?
A little bit. It shows up more than you think it does.
Your journey is going to be problematic then.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a bit, so it will not be an exhaustive list, but I'm also going to see, I bet you, just randomly, like you remember that episode 1 of in season 1 of Blake 7, the one with T.P. McKenna in it and the old car and stuff, and I can't remember the name of the episode right now. Don't at me. Bounty, yep. I think it's called. And I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure it's like in there because he's a collector of old Earth stuff, and that's like, well, we got a great spiral staircase. We can bung in that there. It'll look great. So, yeah.
I watched that not too long ago, but I do not remember one way or the other.
I'll go one better. I don't care.
No, but you know what? Once you start looking for that spiral staircase, it shows.
I know.
Up
I won't. No, I'm not going to do that. It's crazy.
Oh, just you wait, though. Just you wait. I will publish my findings if and when I start my journey through Classic Who again to spot the spiral staircase.
Chris and I aren't immune to flights of fancy. Let's put it that way, and pointless excursions. But this might be the most pointless excursion I've ever heard.
Who else is going to do it, Warren? That's the thing. Who else is going to do it?
Well, nobody needs to. Luke. So, but whatever.
Luke or you would be the only people crazy enough, I think.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Luke from Tumudwup for
your consideration.
Clarity's sake.
Yeah. So anyway, that's something I've long wanted to do, and I don't know why I haven't done it yet. To be honest, I mean it's kind of it's been a rainy-ish, coldish summer here in Edmonton, so like there's been less incentive to go outside. So I don't know why I haven't started this already. I might do it as soon as we get off recording here, which probably won't.
Wouldn't be surprised. Do it during our commentary when we're recording later.
During commentary later on, yeah. But we will more less on that, the better.
Are you okay? That's the main question I have.
I'm fine, Warren. I'm doing fine. Quite clearly, I'm doing fine.
Clearly, yes.
I could stop anytime I want to, all right? I still want to. Last in the news, a Kickstarter is going up live, I think, in the next week or so, but we wanted to announce this now. Our good friend Graham Burke has been working this on for a long time. It's an upcoming podcast called The Comics Code, where Graham Burke tells stories about comics and its creators from the first century of its medium. So basically the history of comic books using spoken word, interviews with creators and experts, archival material, dramatic readings, music and sound effects. Graham tells the stories behind some of comics' greatest creations. Some of these stories have never been told before or never told fully.
You may hear some familiar voices.
There are some familiar voices.
One in particular.
Yeah, it's Warren. So,
are you allowed? I'm not telling you who. I'm not going to spoil it. But
you can't. You can't say which.
No.
Which. Okay.
No, he hasn't said. I just don't want to spoil it.
Is it just you going? Give me pictures of Superman or is it Spider-Man? The other one I can't.
How dare you?
Is that the one?
Super Spider?
Kent, what's under his cape? Batteries. Yeah. Who's his favorite ball team?
Is that a line from a movie?
That's a line from 1978. The best Superman.
Oh yeah. Yeah, having seen the most recent one, I can't.
I like the recent one, but 1978 remains supreme.
Yeah, there's a certain magic to it all. You know what I mean? Anyway, the Comics Code coming soon, and as we said, there's a Kickstarter coming later on. So yeah, the way that Graham dives into stuff like his book about Sidney Newman, of course, the Reality Bomb, and the other music podcasts he's done over the years, Deeper Cuts in the Year of the Beatles. Yeah, Graham's not going to do anything willy nilly. So this looks
deep
like
quality dives.
And honestly, I'm not a comic book fan, but I like histories of things. And so I'm really on board with this. So yeah, I won't appreciate the source material, but I'll enjoy the history of it.
Well, it's like me watching 30 for 30. I couldn't care less about sports, but a good sports documentary, I'll watch.
I watched and loved a documentary about the Eagles because I hate the Eagles, but boy, that was an interesting documentary.
Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles. No, the Eagles, the country rock band from the 1970s.
Oh,
great documentary.
Oh, you were talking about sports documentaries, so I assumed.
No, I see. No,
fair. It's a fair assumption.
Yeah, just talking about stuff we did.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Their only contribution to human civilization is Journey of the Sorcerer, which none of them except one guy wanted to do.
That's true. That's why it was so good.
And that's only because of Hitchhikers.
That's absolutely only because of Hitchhikers.
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, looking forward to it. So yeah, Comics Code, links in the show notes for that, and soon they'll be launching a Kickstarter, so we'll link to that as well when that goes live. Well done, Graham, on working a long time on this, and now it's finally seeing fruition. So there you go. There we go, kids. We got an hour out of that. Can you believe that? Next week, though, we've been recording these. Our Patreon supporters have heard the first three parts, the fourth part of which we have yet to record, our massive mini-scope on Doctor Who director Jamie Magnus Stone, who did 8 Jodie Whittaker episodes. Let me tell you, kids, we hadn't really gone back to the Jodie Whittaker era much since it ended, and I think a few of us, I think we had new things to look into and appreciate. When it came to the look and feel of the Jodie Whittaker era.
more you two than me, given I went through the Blu-rays in the spring. But yeah.
So, very, very interesting insights and observations, and that all starts next week with part 1, where we talk about Spyfall part 1 and Prax. Yes, that is your homework for next week if you want to watch those and hear what we have to say about those.
Not
the direction they're in.
Not just 8 episodes for Jodie Whittaker, but 8 episodes across 2 seasons.
Yeah. And then a special on top of that.
Even more condensed. I still count that as part of it.
I like how I complain about homework and then we're like, hey kids, do some homework.
Here's some homework. Let's watch a Doctor Who or whatever.
Yeah, but homework is watching Doctor Who, so it's not homework.
Exactly. Never is, you know? See if you can spot the spiral staircase in Spotfall Part 1. I dare you.
Please don't.
Dare you.
Oh, God.
Don't encourage him.
I won't. Anyway, that's next week. Hope you'll join us for that. In the meantime, though, and in between time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.